They earn 128,000 combined. They have almost nothing saved and they have no idea why. Today, we are going to find out exactly where their money is going using the same analysis a personal CFO would run. Real numbers, no averages, no generic advice. Let's get into it. Meet Alex and Lisa, dual income couple from Austin, Texas. Alex is a software project manager pulling in 110K. Lisa works part time, pulling in 18K a year. They own a home, two young kids, and by all accounts, they're doing the right things. But every month, the checking account hits zero, and they don't know why. This is not a low income problem. 128,000 a year is a solid household income. This is a visibility problem, and that's exactly what we are here to solve. Their monthly take home after tax is about 7,500. On paper, they should have 150 left at the end of the month. In reality, near zero. We're going to find that gap. Here's everything we loaded into DIY My Finances. 9,167 a month in gross household income, 6,650 in planned monthly expenses, 298,000 in total debt, mostly mortgage, 44,500 in retirement savings at age 34. A few things worth noting before we ask Finn. They have 3,000 in emergency fund, 5,000 in credit card debt at 17% APR, and a 401k contribution at 4% against a 3% employer match. Now let's take all of this to Ask Finn and see what it finds. So here is the profile. Everything we just saw is already entered. As I scroll through it, you can see most of these things are already entered in the profile. Now I'm going to type the question. Based on my income and expenses, what are my biggest financial gaps and what should I prioritize first? So a few things jump out immediately. Emergency fund, $3,000 actual against a recommendation of 17,000 to 34,000. That's a big gap. Credit card at 17%. Finn called that out specifically as the highest cost debt. And here's something interesting. Finn is showing a saving rate of 24.3%. That looks great. But remember, the account hits zero every month. So how is that possible? We'll explain that gap in a moment. Here's what's happening. Finn is reading the planned budget. 7,500 take home, 5,700 in expenses. On paper, that's an 1,800 surplus with a 24.3% savings rate. That looks healthy. But the bank account hits zero. So where is that 1,800 going? Actually, it's in the spending that never makes it into the budget. The car registration that comes once a year, the kids' soccer fees, the school trip, the birthday party, the Amazon order that feels too small to count, dinner out 3 times when the budget is saying one. None of that shows up in the planned budget. All of it shows up in the bank account and bank statements. A CFO doesn't look at what you plan to spend. A CFO looks at your actual spend. That gap between planned and actual, that's a real diagnosis here. And that's what this analysis is built upon. Let's put the actual numbers on screen. Emergency fund, only less than half a month. That's 16 days of expenses. 16 days, one car repair, one medical bill, and they're reaching for the credit card at 17%. Retirement, 44,500 at age 34. The target is roughly 1 time your salary. So about 110,000, they are 59% short of where they should be. And the credit card at 17%, I want to highlight that specifically. 17% guaranteed return, there's no investment available to them that returns 17%. So paying that off is the highest yield financial move in their entire portfolio. Now the savings rate of 24.3%, that's Finn reading their planned budget. It's technically accurate for the numbers entered, but the lived reality is near zero once you account for the invisible spend. That number is misleading, not wrong, just incomplete. Let me jump back to Finn quickly to show you how it prioritized all of this. Increase emergency fund first, accelerate the credit card payoff. That's the exact sequence a CFO would recommend. Same order, same logic. Finn got there by numbers alone. No assumptions, no averages, just their data. And here is the CFO diagnosis. Number one, the emergency fund is the most urgent fix. $3,000 covers 16 days of expenses. Just 16 days. One unexpected expense, and they're borrowing at 17%. That's how a small problem becomes a debt spiral. Number two, that credit card at 17% APR, carrying that balance is costing them 17% a year, guaranteed. Pay it off first. Nothing else they can do with that money comes close. And number three, the 24.3% savings rate is a planned picture. The lived reality is near zero. The problem isn't the income, the problem is the invisible spending that never gets tracked, never gets budgeted, and quietly consumes whatever surplus exists. That's the diagnosis. So, what's the move? If Alex and Lisa do one thing this month, is to find $400 in irregular spending they have never tracked and redirect that to emergency fund. They will be fully funded in 35 months. That's it. $400 a month, 35 months, fully funded emergency fund. No more one car repair away from credit card debt. That's a CFO move. Not a budget overhaul, not a lifestyle change. $400 redirected from spending that never seen and never been tracked. If you want to run the same analysis on your own numbers, everything you saw today is live at DIY My Finances. Link is in the description. It takes about 10 minutes to set up your profile, and Ask Fin will tell you exactly where your money is going.